In today's video, we're flying Delta One from Seattle to Haneda, Tokyo. We'll take a look at the ground experience with the Delta One lounge, show the flight along with all the food. Big favor before we dive in is to give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to upgrade your travel. Good morning, we're at the Delta One lounge in Seattle, and this place is pretty awesome. So you only do have access if you're flying long-haul Delta, Delta One, and it's pretty much a full-on restaurant. Ended up ordering a few things, so let's try it out. First up is a fire-roasted Dutch baby, which is definitely a simple-looking dish, but let's give it a taste. More desserty vibes. Think of it like a mix between a pancake and Yorkshire pudding. Really good though. Pretty good crust on it, and there is some fruit compote. Mandy ended up getting the crab steak benedict. Let's cut it in half. So perfectly made and runny, and this is the taste test. That's really good. That's like restaurant quality. That would probably cost you $35 to $60 depending on what you want. I regret not getting it. That is so good. That's a lot of crab inside. Great flavors and just perfectly done. Compared to a lot of other ones I've had of that dish, I feel like they have more filling. This one actually is a lot of crab. Next up is the bacon, which has a lot of searing on it and blistering, so I'm excited. This one looks better than it tastes. It's okay, but not the best. It is growing on me, but a bit denser than I would like, so more chew, which I guess is good because it means that there's more meat in there, but kind of reminds me of beef jerky. Not at that level, but just closer than other sausages. We both ended up ordering yogurt parfaits, and I didn't realize how big it was going to be, so probably could have just gotten one to share. There's granola, Greek yogurt, as well as a melody of berries. It's solid, but also pretty normal, in the sense that you're not getting shocked. Mandy also ordered bacon. Perfect piece of bacon, a bit of chew, not too fatty. No, this worked really well. So there is a full-on menu with a lot of different options, but these were the two that stuck up to us. There also is an Eastern menu, so there's congee and another dish as well. So if you want to mix it up, that might be worth trying. If you don't feel like doing the menu, let's say you're in a rush or nothing jumps out at you, there is a center area with a bunch of items you can grab. Some cheeses, fruit, pastries, granola, yogurt, and I'd say the highlight is a smoked salmon. So you can make your own little sandwich. Not bad, but I think I prefer the smoked salmon by itself. Really cool too is that they actually roll them out to make it look a lot nicer, so it's just more fancy looking than you'd expect. Solid smoked salmon. In terms of fruit, there is going to be a platter out there and a lot of usual suspects, but also some dragon fruit. So color me surprised, just didn't expect to see dragon fruit at a lounge, or at least in a lounge in the US. Pretty sweet. As you can tell from the dragon fruit as well as the menu, they are catering towards the audience of people traveling to Asia. As someone Asian who likes both Western and Eastern food, no complaints at all there. I'm gonna finish this off and probably order another Eggs Benedict since I'm eyeing Mandy's and she doesn't seem happy. Today we're flying Delta One from Seattle to Haneda. This is on the A350-900 and let's do a seat tour. Right off the bat, it's a 1-2-1 configuration, so there is quite a bit of room. Sitting down, there's some accenting lights, and then you have the monitor. On this end, you have a little coat hanger. One really nice draw is that there is a ton of legroom, especially for business class. In my experience, a lot of other business classes have very tight footwells, and this one's relatively wide. If you are in the middle and you don't know your neighbor, there is a divider, and you can actually close it off. Tons of accenting lights and works really well. Over on this side is going to be the dining tray. So pretty simple, but it does the job. You have a ton of pillows, so this one's more for lumbar support, a bit stiffer. You have more of a normal pillow over here. So very standard. It is pretty firm, which is nice, so it has a lot of cushioning. Last up is the Missoni bedding, and we'll open this up later when we go to sleep. For now, I'm going to use it as a big pillow. When you board, they offer you orange juice or champagne. I decided to go with the orange juice. The orange juice is pretty good. One great thing about the cabin is that it is wide open right in the middle, meaning that it's a lot airier and less claustrophobic than a lot of other cabins. I love not having luggage and then being towards the back, just a great shot of the cabin at night. If you don't know your neighbor, you can actually close off this middle area to get a bit of privacy, but if you do, then you can also just open it up. In case you're wondering, this is what the seat looks like, so pretty nice overall. I really like the stitching, so feels like that's a nice small touch. Also, it is going to be the seatbelt style, and then you can unbuckle it after mid-flight. So it goes like this, and then you can remove this half, so it's just the waist one afterwards. Slippers are over here, and also from Missoni. A bit different than what I would have expected, so kind of flimsier. I mean, I guess not bad. I think it would keep your feet cool, which is nice. Otherwise, they would overheat. Yeah, for whatever reason, I kind of expected a bit more padding on this. Over here, we have a lot of controls. So this is to control the lighting that will play off later on, as well as change the bed mode. Also, a lot of micro seat adjustments you can make as well. So pretty nice there. This is the suite door, and they generally don't unlock it until after meal service. That way, they have an easier time serving food. I guess it depends on the crew and the plane, but yeah, normally if they let you close it during meals, then they're gonna have to open each door every single time to serve every person. The doors are pretty high, so yeah, they would otherwise not be able to serve you unless they open the doors. Up here is going to be the light, and then back here is the headphones as well as a little storage area. Note that there is not a door or anything, it is just a space by itself, but still pretty roomy, so I have a spare lens in there. There's a water bottle that comes with it, and a bit of room for other knickknacks. Down here is the headphone plug as well as the outlet for a computer or for charging a phone or something. It is normal USB though, so not USB-C. Water is from Dasani. Headphones also aren't bad at all, so nice little texture here, pleather, which feels pretty nice. Relax and unwind Delta Premium headset. From the look, it kind of feels like white labeled Bose QCs, just gives me that vibe. Not bad at all and feels pretty premium, so pretty nice. Opening up the Masonic bedding kit, you have a pillow and it's surprisingly nice. So it doesn't feel old or anything, it feels like a little cloud and super soft. Also, I'm not sure how to explain it, but it feels new. I think a lot of other airline ones, it feels almost a little grimy or like it's gone through a few uses. I'm sure this has too, but maybe their process is just a bit better. In addition, there was also a blanket. Pretty cool design and also feels pretty nice. Not too abrasive at all and scratchy. Instead, it's relatively soft. I'd actually want to use it. The last thing, which I thought was an armrest or back support, is actually the mattress pad. It's not the thickest, but it's still something and I think it helps a lot. Also, I feel like it evens out the seat a bit more and takes over those weird spots that might otherwise catch your back if you are more of a temperamental sleeper. If you're looking to book Delta One and would prefer not paying out of pocket, an obvious consideration is Delta Miles, but the standard rates are aggressive. The exception are new routes and sales. For example, Seattle to Incheon, Korea currently in early 2026. The other alternative is partner programs within SkyTeam like Flying Blue, where Seattle to Tokyo is sub 100K with minimal fees. Availability does lean last minute, so this one is T14 with 09, meaning 9 seats available. All of the major bank transferable programs partner with Flying Blue, so you have a ton of options. On a side note, if you want to learn about cards and you want to support the channel, we have links on the website asksebby.com and also down below in the description box. Okay, let's take a look at the amenities kit. It's going to be from Missoni. There is going to be a plastic seal to make sure that it's new. First up is an eye mask. Quite a bit of coverage. Actually surprisingly comfortable. Bit tight on the eyeball side, but otherwise fine and blackout. Some socks. So a lot of people do like to change their socks with the slippers in order to use them for the flight. You have toothbrush, earplugs if you want to sleep and you want to kind of drown out the cabin noise, since there are a lot of other people talking as well, not abnormal for a business class flight. Especially for two-seaters, it's a lot of families and couples and stuff, so people talk. Marvis Classic Minty Toothpaste. Some Grown Alchemist hand cream. I guess I need it too, because my hands are a bit dry. First time this has happened to me. Grown Alchemist lip balm, and a pen. And that's it. Pretty good kit though, and you could easily use this for other tech stuff, which is probably what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be home to some USB cables. Otherwise, you can have as a dock kit for your other essentials when you travel. Any kit you can reuse, I'm a big fan of. Also, there is a little card talking about the brand and kind of the collaboration. So Missoni is a renowned Italian fashion brand in case you're curious. This is apparently a very collectible amenities kit. Also, in case you're wondering how I'm filming all this stuff, we are kind of waiting to leave given some stuff on the ground. So it's worked out well. Yeah, otherwise not really disturbing the cabin. We're literally on the ground and just waiting to go. People are just watching movies and hanging out. If you know your neighbor, the middle seats are perfect because you can hold hands, pass food, or do whatever else. And if you don't know them, there is going to be a divider right over here, so you can actually close it. It doesn't close by default unless you unlatch it. So you have to pull this up, then pull that, but you have to kind of do both at the same time. And once it's like this, you can actually just pull once to open it back up. But kind of cool lighting over here. Hello.
We do have the tug out of the way, however, it is fairly close to the aircraft wing and the aircraft engine on the left side of the aircraft.
How's your flight going?
Good. We're all just chilling for someone to move some stuff out of our way.
So I think what happened is that there was a tug parked underneath the plane or like blocking the plane. In order to move that tug, they need another tug, but that one hasn't been able to move it far enough. Quite a funny experience. Okay, so it's lunchtime and they just came around to the drink cart. I started off with Diet Coke and then I heard someone else order sake, and it's actually not on the menu, but it's only available on the Japan routes. This is what it is. She offered to go back to get a sake class, but I want to keep it easy and just offered to take a normal class. These are going to be the nuts. A bit salty for my preference, but nice and heated, so that's good. Or the salt wasn't very evenly distributed, but it's still fine. Balanced out. Sake is nice and sweet, a little plummy. Hopefully I'm right since I'm just going off what I'm tasting rather than like any notes on the bottle. Yep, pretty good. I'm gonna ask Mandy to give it a taste.
It's pretty smooth.
The nose on this is really interesting. Super fruity and sweet. Solid and no complaints at all. Okay, starting with the appetizers, I did end up ordering a cauliflower soup because it's not good, and I'm also towards the back, so I made sure that no one else ran out. Pretty creamy, and the chives added a nice hint of flavor as well. It's nice, not too overwhelming. Moving over to the Japanese side, there's going to be 4 little plates. First is grilled chicken shio koji with ginger. Note that they do provide chopsticks as well, along with forks and spoons. Chopsticks are also pretty high quality. Oh, these are nice chopsticks. This is the chicken. It's okay, but I feel like it's a bit lacking in flavor. It's well cooked though, so not too chewy or anything, so that's nice. Next up is asparagus and cauliflower with mustard and miso sauce. The cauliflower is really good, so there is that mustard, but it's not a very strong mustard. It's kind of a lighter, almost creamier mustard. It doesn't have the punchiness of a lot of other mustards. Think half mustard and half sesame sauce. Really simple dish, but it's delicious. Thumbs up. Number 3 is smoked salmon. It's not bad, but the smoked salmon at the Delta One Lounge was a bit better. Good flavor, but feels a bit denser than normal. Last up were some pickled vegetables. I dropped a fork under the seat. I know I'm not supposed to put my hand down here because if the seat moves, like I lose my fingers. Alright. I'm not gonna use this fork anymore. Time for chopsticks. Pickled vegetables are pretty good, had a bit of sweetness as well. Moving to the main course, we have the miso braised beef short rib with garlic miso sauce, shiitake mushrooms, carrot, broccoli, cherry tomatoes, tabara rice, miso soup, and Japanese pickles. Chopsticks time. Let's open up the rice. Let's give it a taste. Perfectly cooked, a lot of miso flavor, and just great overall. I do think the presentation could be a bit more improved, so it looks a little sad off the bat, but the taste is there, and that's what matters to me. Also, the miso sauce is a bit pasty and kind of clumpy. I think it could have been better if they heated it up separately and kind of poured it on top afterwards. Obviously, there are a lot of people, so maybe it doesn't work there, but that would definitely bring it up to the next level. Still good though, and I'd recommend getting it. The mushroom is pretty good, but the broccoli is very mushy. So I feel like they could have maybe undercooked that one, knowing that when they reheat it back up, it's going to finish the final cook. Good flavors, but just a lot of small little bits. Let's try out the miso soup. Pretty good miso soup. Lots of flavor, tofu, seaweed. This is pretty solid. I feel like a lot of other miso soups are more like water. That's not this one. Solid 7 out of 10. So for this flight, they don't have tiramisu. Instead, they have a lemon cake, and that's what Mandy got. Breaking it apart, let's give it a taste. That's really good. It's light, it's zesty, not too sweet, not too sour either. It's just a perfect blend. Wow. I'm tempted to not give it back to Mandy, but I won't. I instead ended up getting the ice cream. Let's give that one a taste. It's not bad, but a little sweet, at least for my taste buds. They do let you add toppings on top, so there's cookie crumbs, cherries, chocolate, as well as whipped cream. I ended up going for 3 of the 4, minus the whipped cream pretty much. Also light on the chocolate. I also have been making a lot of Ninja Creamy frozen yogurt and ice cream at home, so that probably affected my taste buds. Let's see what Mandy thinks.
I like the lemon cake better.
Why?
Nice and airy, not too sweet. Yours is just ice cream.
Do you think the ice cream is too sweet?
When you put berry compote, graham crackers, and chocolate on it, yes.
Okay, might also be my fault. After meal service, they unlatch the doors, meaning you can close it and get some privacy. Note that people can still see you when they walk by from above, so don't do anything inappropriate. We have about 7 hours before we get there. I'm gonna brush my teeth and take a nap. Bathroom's pretty straightforward. Some lights up here, sink down here, and toilet. No bidet or any other specialty features. I guess they do have fancier hand cream and soap. So this is from Grown Alchemist. Otherwise pretty standard stuff and not much different from economy. I wish they had floss. I brought the hand cream instead of the toothpaste packs, and I'll be right back. So we're going through pretty crazy turbulence for the next 20 minutes, so this should be interesting. I think we're going through a storm. It's not gonna look like it because the DJI has pretty good stability, I think, but it's pretty insane turbulence. And this is gonna be me trying to hold out a water bottle normally. Let's see the turbulence in action. Ironically, the door is one of the best cages of this because it's actually shaking a lot. Also kind of the same with the curtain. One cool thing about the music on Delta is that I find that they have a lot more variety compared to other airlines. So you have country, dance, alternative, all-time alternative, and just a good blend of a bit of everything. I feel like most other airlines wouldn't even have reggae, for example. They would just have classical and like country, and maybe jazz or like standard stuff. In terms of movies, we have a lot of oldies, but also goodies, if that's your jam, and this is alphabetical. We are currently flying January 2026, and this is what the movie selection is for new releases. I feel like I'm not the biggest movie person anymore, so flights are a good time to catch up. Yeah, I actually haven't heard of any of these movies, other than maybe the F1. Oh, also Fantastic Four, which I've meant to watch, but just never bothered watching. Good mix of movies, whether you want to be entertained or scared and spooked. In case you're curious, we are on an A350-900, and this is the plane. Current time in Japan is almost 7 a.m., 6:44 a.m., and we are landing in Haneda. Total flight time is only 9 hours and 44 minutes, so a pretty fast flight. As of right now, we're in Alaska, give or take, and going over the top. Time to destination is 7 hours and 35 minutes. Taking a look at the cabin and walking through it a few times already, going to the restroom, everyone's just pretty much working. A lot of laptops out and double screens and tons of spreadsheets. Bed test time, and this is surprisingly comfortable. So the Missoni pillow is amazing. The other one is a bit too stiff for your head unless you like that. Width isn't bad at all if you have super wide shoulders, maybe not ideal, but it's still fine. I'm kind of at the stage where I'm touching the edges a little bit, but it's not as bad as it could be. The footwell does tighten up a bit, but not as bad as it looks. Some other ones are even like this, so a lot worse. Also, I like that you get to keep your legs straight. For some other ones, it's almost at a weird angle. For example, Finnair. Just woke up from a nap and now it's snack time. There are a bunch of different items you can request, and there's also a basket up front if you'd rather go check yourself. This includes chips, pistachios, cookies, as well as instant noodle. Let's try the cookie. Actually surprisingly hits a spot. Initially from the tear I didn't think it would because it felt a bit harder, but inside it's actually a little bit soft, so it's nice. Doing a headphone test, it's okay, but there's not really any active noise cancellation. So the padding does do a pretty good job of cutting out the airplane noise, but you can still hear it. I think any of the flagship Boses or Sonys are going to be a bit better. Pretty comfortable though, so I watched like 2 movies on this already. Ended up watching Fantastic Four First Steps and fell asleep, so you don't really remember what happened. And then started watching Apartment 7A, which is super engaging, so I'm still watching. I actually didn't fall asleep at all. Pretty good movie if you're into suspense and thriller. Let's try the noodles. Not bad at all. I feel like noodles, for whatever reason, just hit a lot better up in the air. If I had to pick, maybe ramen noodle for the bounce, but vermicelli's still good. Also added a Diet Coke. Alrighty, it's the meal before landing and did 3 different choices, but they did run out of the Japanese option, which was the chicken, so it was either French toast or a quiche. Since Mandy got the quiche, I figured I'd try the French toast. It also comes with yogurt with some granola and jam or sauce, and a croissant with some banner butter. Also got a coffee. Starting with the croissant. A little bit denser than I would like, but it did heat it up, so that's good, and pretty crispy on the outside. The yogurt's not bad, the compote tastes a lot better than it looks. The granola, though, is a little bit, it's not mushy, but it's definitely not crunchy. So it feels like it's been hydrated for a little bit, so not the best texture there. A little bit hydrated. Last up is the French toast. It's not bad, but it's also not good. I don't think I'm gonna finish this, but it's okay, I guess, if you want something sweet. My first choice and the one I really wanted was the chicken, but since I couldn't get it, I felt like I might as well just try the other dish that Mindy didn't get. I don't know where my fork went. I think my fork is with her. The eggs are a little grainy, so it feels like powder eggs. Oh, okay, this is a frittata, so that makes more sense. Still not a fan though. The sauce on top and the cheese doesn't really work for me. It kind of tastes like vomit or what. Yeah, I'm not describing it well, but I think it doesn't work in its current iteration. I'd rather have some like salsa or something else that like is a bit different. Chicken sausage. Kind of feels like a water sausage. So I feel like this meal service could be improved. It's okay, but nothing at all to write home about, and might even be worth skipping. The best thing is probably the water sausage, but it's because I like sausage.
It's just okay, meets expectations.
I like the spicy sausage. I'm kind of in this weird spot where I don't like wasting food, but it also just doesn't feel like it's worth the stomach room or calories. I'd rather eat something else when I land. Probably chicken if you can, because that's still protein. Quiche maybe, and then yogurt's not bad, but that's about it. Overall, this was a pretty good flight, and let's actually give it a Sebby score. If we compare it against only other US airlines, I would say that the hard product is an 8, maybe 8.5. This is pretty roomy, solid doors, and not bad at all. Compared to some of the other configurations, I do feel like it is a bit more claustrophobic, but that might just be me because I'm a bit wider. I also don't really like that this door doesn't fully open compared to some of the other configurations or some of the other planes that Delta has. So this one only partially opens like this. The other ones actually open up here, which make it feel a lot more airy and just roomy, especially when you are a player 2 and you're sharing the middle seats. Let's close this. Oh no. The product is showing a bit of wear and tear, but it's held up pretty well. In terms of food, I'd probably give it a 7. It's passable, it does the job, but not great. Presentation could be greatly improved. It's also kind of a tale of two cities. I would say that the main meal is pretty good. I'd say that's an 8. Breakfast though is like a 5 or 6. It just doesn't really compare. Soft product though is solid, and one of the reasons why we like Delta, I'd say that's a solid 8. Just very friendly staff overall, and they actually seem happy compared to some other airlines. Putting it against international competition, it gets a bit tougher. Hard products and pretty much everything would probably drop by a point, just given the nature of how good international competition can get. For example, this isn't a bad hard product, but if you compare it to A&E The Room, it looks a lot worse. For what it is though, I think it's still recommended, knowing the caveats, especially if you have GUCs that you need to use anyways, or you have miles and you find a last minute deal and the price is right. Again, if you want to learn more about cards and you want to support the channel, we have links on our website, AskSebby.com, and also down below in the description box. Again, make sure the links are competitive, that they make sense, but otherwise, it's a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. If you made it to this point, leave a chicken emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 3 questions. Number 1, what are your thoughts on the new Delta One lounge in Seattle, and how does it compare to other lounge options? Number 2, what are your thoughts on a flight, and would it be something you'd redeem your miles or points for or pay for? And number 3, what's your favorite product flying from the US to Japan? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Favorite, thumbs up, share this, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time.